I'm going to show you how to get the very best quality out of even a budget mic like this one by changing some settings that are super easy to do in OBS or Streamlabs. First thing we want to do is head to settings here and go directly to the audio settings just to make sure that you've got the mic that you want plugged in to the mic auxiliary audio bit. So as you can see, mine's correct. I'm using this fine budget mic here. If yours isn't showing here, unplug the microphone, plug it back in. If that doesn't work, try closing, reopening OBS, and if all else fails, then reinstall your audio drivers, which is pretty easy to do. You can kind of Google that and it's a very simple step-by-step. But in most cases, your microphone should be showing here, so just click on the one you want to use, click apply and click OK. You should then have a mic aux section here with this sort of bar that's going up as you speak. The next step is to click on the three dots next to it and go to advanced audio properties, and you'll see here the mic aux section is this one. The first thing you need to do here whilst we're fiddling with these settings is put the monitor to monitor and output, and then you should now be able to hear yourself in your headphones. The other thing of note here is the mono button, so if you can only hear yourself out of one ear, click this and you'll be able to hear in both, and vice versa. So if this is clicked on and you can only hear yourself in one ear, then turn it off. Basically either have this on or have it off, whichever means you can hear yourself out of both. And then once you've done that, you can close this section. So after that, you're now ready to go. We can start fiddling with the settings, but the first thing to consider is your microphone placement. As you can see here, you want your mic to be roughly kind of 6 inches away from your mouth. And to measure that, you kind of want to just sort of stand up and unzip. That was a joke. Please don't touch your microphone with your... But for real, as you can see, I'm using a boom arm here. I will put the link to this microphone and the boom arm in the description because I've done a video on both of these. But essentially, you also need to know which mic you have, because for example, if I speak into it from the side, you'll notice that it's way less kind of clear. Whereas if I speak into the front of it, like I am here, it's a lot more crisp because this is where the cardioid mic is picking me up. So again, it might be worth getting yourself a cheap arm or at least propping up a mic on even just some books or something. I've done it with so many little jerry-rigged setups in the past. But ultimately, get that mic around 6 inches from your mouth and make it adjustable too if you can. That's the benefit of having an arm, because you can kind of swing it around a little bit. It might seem silly and mundane, but the position helps you sound good. But now let's get you sounding pro. Right, so let's have a look at the first setting. First thing I'm going to do is turn this down a little bit, because as you can see, I'm already clipping into the red. So I'm going to go until I'm sort of somewhere in the middle of the yellow and a little bit into the red. There we go. And I'd recommend when you're changing these settings, sit at your natural position, speak at your natural volume that you would be on stream or when you're recording, because at the end of the day, every mic and every voice is different. So it's going to be slightly different depending on who you are and what mic you're using. But alas, let's click the three dots and we're going to go to filters, and I'll delete some of the ones I had sort of here because these are presets for other microphones. And we're going to click the plus button and we're going to add a compressor. So the thing this is going to do is when you're sort of talking a little bit more quietly, or you're whispering even and going very quiet, it will make those louder. And equally, when you shout and you go really loud on stream, it's going to make that a little bit less sort of clippy and more quiet. Essentially, it's compressing the audio to balance you out slightly. So the ratio is on 10. We're going to change that down to roughly 5. Threshold, for now, we're going to throw that all the way up. Trust me, there's a method to that madness. The attack is a little bit high here. We're going to change that down to around 3. Release will stick on about 100. And then we'll leave the output gain where it is for now, because if you sort of shrink this window, you're going to be able to see that right now, when I'm talking, it's going yellow, occasionally red. However, if I whisper, it sometimes hits the yellow. So if we turn up the output gain slowly, you'll see that it goes higher and I'm getting louder. But that's going to also go very red when I'm talking normally or shouting. And this is where we change the threshold from earlier, slowly down, and talk in that loud volume until you are in the kind of yellow again. So now whether I'm whispering or I'm shouting, you'll see that this is going yellow rather than me sort of drowning out or clipping the mic on either end of that spectrum of loudness. The only issue you might now hear is that's just a lot of background noise. So the next filter we're going to add is the expander. So again, the ratio here, we're going to put it on about 5 again, so kind of match the settings we just did. Threshold, this time we're going all the way to the left. The attack, again, we'll put it down to about 3. Release, again, match it to about 100. And the output gain, once again, for now, leave that alone. So then what we're going to do is similar to last time. If I press a key, you'll hear that clicking, and we're going to increase the threshold. Until you can't hear it anymore, and that is going to drown out any desk sounds like clicking or any background noises like maybe a fan or a pet without much effort. Bear in mind, you can maybe lower this if you don't care about background noise, because if you do put this higher, the higher you go, the more it's going to chop out your voice. So if I keep on talking, right, you'll see that it kind of, it cuts out your voice at a high point. So I might even go down to maybe there, like sort of a low 40s, because again, you can hear it barely. And again, every microphone is different here. Don't just copy the numbers on my screen. Your mic might need a little bit lower, a little bit higher. It depends on the sensitivity and the direction that the audio is coming. Now, the last thing you can do that's an option is adding noise suppression. So if you're still finding that maybe you've got a fan, maybe you live in a city and there's traffic outside, or any kind of background noise that's really intense, then honestly, without changing any settings, you can help this by adding pillows, furniture, blankets, carpets. Maybe if you can afford it, some of the sort of noise suppressing pads that you can get that adhesively stick to walls. But if you can't afford any of that and you want to sort of do this on a bit of a budget, you can add noise suppression, which is another option on this plus drop down here, as you can see. And again, if you've got a decent enough PC, you can put this on some good quality stuff which uses more of your CPU, or you can do low if you need to. Again, I think this is personally better to do sort of in person. Think about where you're putting your desk and where you're actually going to be doing your streaming and audio. Try and do it maybe in a corner that's more quiet. Try and have some pillows around your PC area or blankets. Anything you can do would be great. But it is as simple as that, and you've been hearing all of these changes in real time, hopefully. So this is how you can make any budget mic sound pro. You can have whispers sound really loud and have shouting not clip your mic, and you can have background audio barely be there, or like not at all, because apparently I've got the threshold really nice. But anyway, before you go, if you want some free Twitch artwork, my website will be down below for you, where you can get a ton of free packs to help you get going, and an everything pack that's super cheap with a bunch of different colorways. Whilst you're down there, you'll also find our community Discord, which has 300 plus other streamers and creators just like you. So if you want to make some friends or get some advice, then feel free to join. We would love to have you. And in the meantime, here is your last chance to subscribe, and here is another video that you might find helpful on your streaming or creating journey. And I promise next video will be at a less weird angle. I was doing OBS and doing this. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next video.